Check, check, mic check.
Check, check, mic check.
Mic check.
1, 2.
1, 2. All right. Oh, hey, Bikeaholics. I told you about Bug Slide yet? Well, I'm going to. That's right. Do not ride without the slide, Bikeaholics. Bug Slide tried and tested right here by the Law Abiding Biker crew. It is our number one go-to motorcycle cleaner. Bug Slide cleans, shines, degreases while removing bugs and other surface contaminants with ease. That's right. Use it on your motorcycle, car, boat, and more. Never need to wax again, Popeye. That's right. The release agent in Bug Slide contains a UV filter for added protection and dries crystal clear. No yellowing buildup. None of that damn powdery residue. It's free of abrasive and safe on all non-porous surfaces. Bikeaholics, yes, even works on that darn Harley denim paint. We believe in it so much, we carry it in stock right now at the Law Abiding Biker store. lawabidingbiker.com/store to get hooked up with Bug Slide. It is the best waterless motorcycle cleaner in the world. We're convinced of that. Big Daddy Kane right now has it ready to ship direct to you out of the Law Abiding Biker store. Don't get fooled on Amazon, guys. You'll wait 15 days and only save $1. We'll get it to you next day. Big Daddy will have it out, and 3-day USPS priority shipping. That's right.
Days after the brawl, workers wash blood off the sidewalk of the restaurant. Bullet holes in the walls, half-consumed drinks, and beer koozies with bike club names still visible. Police say they've recovered more than 1,000 guns, knives, and batons.
Honest citizens don't hide 1,000+ weapons inside a restaurant. Law-abiding citizen isn't going to hide a firearm or a knife in between black bags of flour. Law-abiding citizen isn't going to go into the restaurant restroom and try and stuff handguns in toilets. That happened inside Twin Peaks Sunday.
So what does that suggest to you about the people who were here?
That these were vicious criminals that knew that they were in trouble and they were trying to dispose of evidence.
Around 170 arrested are in their 20s to 65 years old, coming from all over the state of Texas from all walks of life. Their biker lifestyle visible in their mugshots. Wesley McAllister, age 32, the word chaos tattooed on his neck. Also arrested, George Earl Rogers, 52 years old, a rap sheet that includes charges of aggravated assault.
What was in that restaurant Sunday afternoon is not a motorcycle club of doctors, lawyers, laymen, honest, law-abiding citizens.
But there was a retired cop. San Antonio Police Detective Martin Lewis, 32 years an officer, a grandfather, who has pictures on Facebook wearing Bandito gear.
When I heard that this morning, it made me sick to my stomach.
There's also a pharmacy tech, 65-year-old Lawrence Yeager. His license expired, perhaps due to retirement. He has no criminal history. There are also a few women, like Sandra Lynch, a.k.a. Drama, a member of the Los Pirados Motorcycle Club, married to Michael Lynch, also arrested. Their grandparents sharing a love for biking and Twin Peaks. Drama pictured here on a Facebook post with the scantily clad waitresses. Their son tells CNN they're not criminals, not gang members. They were at Twin Peaks for a monthly meeting. He says, "Everyone there is not a thug. My parents are not thugs. I think this is injustice to have so many people in jail." None of the defendants have had their day in court. The defendants' family CNN has reached say the $1 million bail is ridiculous and unfair.
Hey, Bikeaholics, do you have your grip on?
You know, the Biker Gripper.
Simply the best motorcycle cell phone, GPS, radar detector, and EFI tuner mount on the market.
Oh, it grips so tight.
That's right, 18 pounds grip strength to be exact.
So sleek and strong.
That's right, fits American or metric motorcycles and comes in black or chrome.
So what are you waiting for? Get your grip on.
You can get the Biker Gripper exclusively in the Law Abiding Biker store. Head over to www.lawabidingbiker.com/store and get your grip on. Oh, yeah. Popeye in the house. Popeye, what up?
Not much. I'm feeling it, baby. I'm feeling it.
Dude, this is going to be a badass episode and/or episodes, because we're not sure as of right now, but we think we're going to do 2-part.
This is going to be a long one. We're in depth, baby. We're in depth.
Yes, the suspense, dude. And yeah, guys, we've been highly requested for this particular episode. Of course, the Waco, Texas biker shooting follow-up. And it happened a little over a year ago, a couple months by the time this comes out. We had a lot of emails from you guys wanting to know, because we did the original episode, lawabidingbiker.com/78 is what we did. And if you go over to episode 78, we really encourage you to listen to that. It was kind of fresh off the cuff of the shooting over there. 8 bikers or 9 bikers dead, I believe.
9 bikers.
9 bikers and 18 hospitalized. One of the worst biker shootings in U.S. history. And we did a full episode on that. And then the emails and the questions were, hey, what's happened with that? You know, what's transpired? Because a lot of bikers were arrested, like 154. We'll get into that. And so we're doing it for you guys. You requested it. You wanted it. We're producing, and we put a lot of effort. And I've got Popeye on hand, who hasn't been in the studio for a while.
Haven't been here in a while. We're aiming to please her tonight, though.
Yes, and Popeye has a lot of insight, and I think he's done his homework on this. I know he's done his homework.
Absolutely.
So hopefully we can give you guys some insight into what's going on with those cases and what's right and maybe what's wrong and that kind of stuff. So with that said, I do just have one question for you, Bikeaholics. What are you waiting for? Mount up. Let us take you on another wild-ass ride. And that's right. Of course, you heard Popeye's in the studio. I'm Ryan Erlacher, your host of the Law Abiding Biker Podcast, and of course, your high-tech redneck. And these episodes are going to be packed, so we're not going to screw around a lot. A lot of times we do some small talk, which is fun, but I think we're going to dive right in. I do want to mention, of course, you heard the opener. That was a little bit to give you, and I don't know what I got going on here.
Where the hell's my theme song? I don't even get a damn theme song because we're so packed for time.
Oh, dude, no, we got to do the damn theme song because I wouldn't. I was just waiting, dude. I'm glad you called me on it, straight up. And Popeye just did a live episode with us, of course, lawabidingbiker.com/live, and we're recording this one non-live. Either way, all our stuff comes up. Yeah, see, that was extra right there. Do it again. Yeah, I like it. That wasn't even part of the sound bite, guys. See, that's how we roll around here. But, you know, regardless if we do it live or not live, it's all coming to you eventually in podcast format. So have no fear. But of course, that Popeye got to do his first live episode, the last one, and he had fun doing that in the live chat.
That was a lot of fun. Yeah, if you're out there and you're just listening to us on the podcast, come on over, do it live, sign in, do some video chat with us. It's a lot of fun when we get the crew out there who's listening from all over the world come in. We can see you, you can talk to us. Don't be afraid. We're friendly people. Come on over there. Like I say, sign up, video chat, and tell us who you are, where you're at, what you're about. And a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun doing that here this afternoon. Well said. And we had a guy. You can call in to the show if you hit the live experience, right? That's right. We had Corey Williams call in, which was really cool. And so, yeah, we would really like you to call in and just say hi and how you found us, and we'll chat a little bit. That's all part of the community we're building here, guys. We've got the platform, and we've got the equipment, but we're certainly willing to share it with you guys to get your message out there. And again, continue this thing we call the Biker Revolution. New free video. That's right. I like to mention them here and there. Been out for a while. It's a great one, and it's pull wires. It's a quick one. Pull wires through handlebars, kits and tips. Kits we've made and different ideas for when you're doing handlebar jobs and hand jobs and handlebar jobs and okay. And anyways, if you want to, you can go over. It's a free video, lawabidingbiker.com/wire pull kits. Of course, you can just search our YouTube channel for that, lawabidingbiker.com/YouTube, or search right from our website from the search bar. Now that comes directly out of our handlebar install videos, which are a few of our premium videos. 95% of our content is for free. All of our core audience knows that. We're here to help the biker community, but we have to sell a few to help pay the bills. And you can go to lawabidingbiker.com/Harley handlebars. We have fairing, non-fairing bikes. Those are some of our very, very popular for purchase videos, and it'll help you avoid paying a dealership. You can do it right in your shop or garage, right on the kickstand. You can install new handlebar, and we got you. But that's where this is pulled from. We give you a few tips and tricks if you're more advanced and you just want to see some of the ways and kits that you can make. Go down to the hardware store, get some parts,
and help pull those through the bars. That's what we got you going. Lurch is in that video, and I will tell you that this show is made possible. Of course, we try to subsidize with some of the for purchase videos, but we also absolutely would not be functioning without the following people. They're patrons, and they took action.
Always appreciate those Patreons. We've got Paul Quitati, I believe is how it's pronounced, out of Claremont, Florida. Dennis Doyle out of Batavia, Ohio. Max Crowley out of Greenville, Texas. And Mr. Crowley, he is a top tier Patreon. We always appreciate that. Jason Oldham out of Warsaw, Indiana. And J. Adam La Femina. There we go. We don't know where he's from. Didn't leave his hometown, but we still appreciate it very much. Gregory Jones we always appreciate these guys an extra amount. He's out of an APO address. If you don't know what an APO is, that means that he's coming to us from one of our military stations around the world. And he is a top tier member. And Gregory, we appreciate your support.
God bless our veterans.
Yes, sir. We appreciate your support, and we appreciate what you're doing for us.
Absolutely. Lawabidingbiker.com/Patreon, Patreon. Take action. Do it right now. That's right. Please, guys. It is the very reason this platform is still going, because without the patrons, they're really the backbone, the foundation of this entire operation. It gives us structure, knows how much money is coming in per piece of content, lets us know exactly what we can provide. And like you said, I know what APO is. Well said, because Popeye sitting in the studio right here is a veteran, of course, and a full-time LEO now. And God bless each and every one of those. I know APO addresses, not because I was in the military, because we ship a lot of products out of the Law Abiding Biker store to you guys, lawabidingbiker.com/store, and I had to learn how that works. And I know that the APO addresses, when we would ship stuff, we would ship it to an APO address. It's in the United States, so it doesn't cost extra shipping. And then the APOs, that address ships it out to their particular station. That's the way when I was shipping stuff, I understood it.
Yeah, basically for most stuff that's shipped anywhere with an APO address, anywhere in the world, especially if you're overseas on assignment somewhere, it's a free address for mail from their side to the States. It's not free from the States to where they're going generally.
Right.
But for me to send something back home, let's say when I was over in Iraq, then it's free for me to send stuff back home.
Right. And it's even for our store, we only pay to ship it to wherever it is, like this, maybe New York, and then
Right. And they could go, then it could go anywhere in the world. Gotcha.
Yes. We don't know where it went. I mean, from there, they got it to, it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But damn right, we appreciate our veterans. God bless every single one of them, and God bless every patron to make this show possible. So we do appreciate it. Get hooked up and pledge a certain amount per piece of content. Get in that private Facebook group. T-shirts available, and top tier, of course, get access to our videos, any of them upon request, any of our for purchase high-end videos, guys. All right, so I mentioned episode 78. We did this. We did this special, and I have an article over there too with a lot of information. Can be reached at lawabidingbiker.com/78. Anything we talk about in this episode, it's going to get deep up in here, and because there's a lot to talk about, and we have a lot of insight into it.
Get your waders on. We're getting deep here tonight, folks.
Oh yeah, for sure, dude. Get the waders on. But all the show notes for this will be lawabidingbiker.com/ and whatever episode number this is. All right. Do you want to start out here and just give again, I encourage you to listen to that at 78, but at least we want to start with some preliminary information to give people an idea of what we're talking about.
All right. So as Ryan's saying here, a good way to do this, if you haven't already immersed yourself in this situation and the debacle that took place.
Debacle for sure.
A real debacle.
I like debacle.
Debacle?
Because it just sounds, it sounds like rednecky. Debacle.
It says go to the Law Abiding Biker number 78 podcast, and you can listen to that. And we started talking about that back then. What happened is that back on Sunday, May 17th, 2015, just after noon, there were a group of criminal biker gangs that took place in a shooting at the Twin Peaks restaurant in Waco, Texas. Now, that shooting left 9 people dead, 18 hospitalized, and at least 170 people after that incident were arrested.
Yes, at that time, 170 were.
Yeah, I believe it was 177 was the final count.
Oh, okay.
So there was a group of outlaw motorcycle guys. There were some who claimed that they weren't OMGs. There was a group of basically a big eclectic group of bikers that met. Not all of them. Some were military. And they all met as part of the Coalition of Clubs, is what the banner came under. The COC is what the banner came under at this place called the Twin Peaks. And of course, that's where this debacle took place that we're going to talk about.
And it is. It makes me sick, honestly, Popeye. And CNN did a special on this. I'll just throw this out right up and then let me talk. I'm making notes because this is going to get deep in here. Because we want to give you guys the skinny, I guess, on resources and things. And again, really, everything we're going to talk about, I'm going to make sure and put in lawabidingbiker.com/ and whatever episode number this is. CNN did a special. Me and Popeye talked about this. Some of our information is going to be off the CNN special. And let me tell you, I don't respect CNN at all. I think they're a trashy network. But hang on. For any of you that listen to CNN,
stay with us.
Don't tune out yet. And it was an interesting conversation. I made burgers for Popeye. He's down. He lives quite a ways away. So this was a true conversation that we had. I call them the Communist News Network for a reason, because I don't think they're fair. I don't think they're balanced. That's my Fox News reference if you didn't get it already. I tend to listen to that more. Now, Popeye, I think, agrees with me that, believe it or not, and what's his cat's name? Let me scroll down here, Popeye.
Wolf Blitzer.
No, it was not Wolf Blitzer.
That's who gave you the report?
No, it wasn't. It was Ed Lavandera.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry, I thought you meant it was. No, I looked it up. The guy on that episode that does that is Ed Lavandera.
Okay, I was thinking that the over voice was Wolf.
Well, now I don't know about that, but I know that guy standing in front of the camera talking to the Bandidos president is Ed Lavandera.
Gotcha.
So we actually, even though we don't like CNN, we are fair and balanced here, and we will never just dog an organization or anybody just to dog them. When they do a good job, we're going to say they did a good job. And I'll tell you, and I think Popeye agrees, that CNN in this case did a very fair and balanced report, which is just, I almost had a heart attack. They didn't inject their opinions. And I think it's just interviews and a fair and balanced look at what the evidence is at this point. What say you?
Absolutely. We talked about that over dinner. Both of us, as soon as I said it, you kind of said the same thing. You were very surprised. It wasn't that they were saying that the police did anything wrong. It wasn't that this happened because of these people or this side is better than the other. They basically just reported it. They talked to both sides and they gave the facts as to what the people who were there
believed
told. Yeah, so
perceived.
What they believed the facts were.
Right.
But they told each side, didn't interject their opinions, but just gave each side a chance to talk. And that's including OMGs, maybe other clubs that were there, as well as law enforcement personnel who were allowed to talk.
Right. Yeah, good. And you're right. As perceived. Now there's opinions on there, but they didn't go with those opinions. They just let people say their opinions on both sides, which was nice, which is why it was fair and balanced. And they didn't take it like some documentaries do. They didn't try to take it down one particular road or do the 48 hours where all of a sudden the guy's innocent of murder, but they did find a firearm in his hand at the time. Do you know how they do that? They didn't do any of that stuff. So well done, CNN. I hate to say that. It hurts me to say that, but I'm okay. I'm a fair and balanced person and I'm willing to admit it.
Okay. We'll call a spade a spade when we see it. But on this time, like I say, I think they did a good job.
Yep. They must be watching Fox News and realizing they're going to go out of business if they don't change the way they do things.
Taking notes. They're taking notes.
Taking notes from Bill O'Reilly. There you go.
Yeah.
All right. You can see where we're going with this. All right. So, to give this a little more foundation, it was like you said, the COC meeting, and it was this particular shooting was mostly about the Banditos, and which is a 1%er club, which we'll talk about. We've talked about it in the past, and then the Cossacks, which technically are not a 1%er club at this time. So, with that foundation, the COC. Confederation of Clubs. We've said it in the past. Let me preface this episode by saying we have never here at Law Abiding Biker Media, and I say it every time, and I know you guys might get bored of it, we're not saying every person and every OMG is committing crimes every second of the day, and it's some big Mars conspiracy theory. We're different than the other side because they do believe that there is a conspiracy theory and from Mars and law enforcement is all corrupt, and we won't go there. We're willing, man enough to say, no, not every single one of them is out committing crimes all the time. You're going to hear it referenced many times in this episode from me anyways, and we'll see where Popeye stands, but you are somewhat guilty by association because it's proven. It absolutely, there's no argument about it. You can't even begin an argument to say that these clubs, these 1%er clubs, there's not factions within those clubs that are committing massive crimes, murder and extortion and rape and drug smuggling and firearms and all smuggling and all those kind of things. It's a fact. It's on record. It's not a conspiracy. They do. And it overall, I believe, and then I'll let you say what you say, Popeye, but overall it is, it's knowing that it's going on. The specifics may not be known because some people want to bury their head in the sand, but you want to throw on a 3-piece patch and wear a 1% patch. You better damn well man up, quit crying when you get in trouble, quit, I can't believe there was a shooting and I can't believe this. You're wearing that for a reason because you want to wear it. You know what comes with it. You want to be tough and wear it and all that kind of stuff. But yet you want to bury your head in the sand because you aren't personally involved in it. Unfortunately, because it's going on, it's just a fact of life. You're going to be involved in it. And these shootings and this kind of shit is going to happen. And you better expect it and not be surprised when it does. And I could go on, but I'm just going to preface this episode with that. You have to expect, if you're going to wear a 1% patch, you can't cry later when bullets start flying. You can't cry later. It's just, come on. I mean, seriously, you wear a 1% patch, you just be tough. If you want to be tough. And then just say, that's our lifestyle. We get in shootings and accept it. Otherwise, maybe it's not something you want to be involved in.
Now, during episode 78, there was a interview that was on the news where a gentleman who was a previous Bandidos member was talking about, he said, it's only somewhere around 60% of the people who are Bandidos are your normal law-abiding people and they don't commit any crimes. They didn't go out and do this, that, or the other. Okay, even if we want to take that at face value and say that's true, let's just take that for a second. You still have 40% of those people where this guy had just completely left out of his statement.
Right.
Okay.
It's large.
Completely left. That's close to half of the people are out there committing crimes, whether he's talking about drug crimes or dealing in firearms. That's what these people do. Drugs and firearms are a big one for moving, for money makers for these guys, or some type of businesses that are not legitimate businesses that they're making money on the side. So what I could tell you is that if there are 40% of the cops out there who are dirty,
right?
Holy cow!
Correct.
We're talking less than 1% of the cops that are dirty, and
less than 1%. Yeah, such a right.
It's a minuscule amount that you very rarely ever hear about guys going out and doing wrong. So if you're around a group like this, and basically this guy, without saying it, he is saying it, that 40% of this group are committing crimes.
And they're aware of it.
Yeah, exactly. So obviously that if you're involved in an element like this, that these type of activities are taking place, murder or extortion or thefts, stealing people's bikes, dealing in drugs, dealing in firearms, that type of stuff is going on. So if you are hanging around it,
yes,
you are guilty by association.
Absolutely. Like it or not. If you don't like it, take the cut off and go walk away and go ride your motorcycle. If you want to be a tough guy and you want to wear a 1% patch, then expect to get shot at, because that shit happens and it's happened over history and it's going to continue to happen. And don't cry and call 911 when it happens and then blame it on the police, or the police should have responded faster. Why are you calling 911 anyways if you're a tough 1%er? Why? I don't understand it.
Right. Used to have a high school teacher who used to say, tell me who you hang around with and I'll tell you who you are.
Oh, yeah.
That's what he used to say that all the time. Talking about guys getting in trouble, whatever. Tell me who you hang around with and I'll tell you who you are. Now, maybe that's not great for labeling people, but I'll tell you what, you look at people around you, it's perception. And if you look around at the people who you have known over your life, is that not true most of the time?
You're right.
And especially in this element, if you're hanging around a bunch of thugs who are out committing crimes, even like I said, this person that they interviewed, 40% of them, if you're hanging around where almost half of your crew or half your crew just by this one, I'm just going off this one person,
right,
who tried to make the club look like a shining example of how to ride motorcycles. But tell me who you're hanging around with. I'll tell you who you are. You're hanging around with thugs. You're probably a thug yourself, whether you want to admit it or not. If you compared yourself to the average person, you're probably a thug.
Yep, well said. And again, we're the first to tell you we are not saying, we just said it. And even they said it, their own club, not every member is involved in criminal activity at all or all the time. But you cannot, come on, grow up. You cannot bury your head in the sand and know that stuff is going on because you want to wear the pretty patch and have the protections of such a status, and feel like, those brothers are going to protect you and stuff. It just cracks me up. We're going to get into it. And I don't know where this episode's going. We're just going to roll with it, but I can't believe that they do that they're involved in these shootings. And then you're going to see, we're going to play some sound clips and stuff of this. And you saw the Carazal guy with the beard. And then he's going to be going, I had multiple bikers on me, and it was one of the scariest things in my life. What the fuck did you expect when you put on a 1% patch, dude? And we can get to that. Is he really that ignorant, or did he really believe that he was with a law-abiding club? It baffles me. Either some of them are being deceptive, but then I see guys like him and he's well-spoken, and we'll play some clips from him, Popeye. You know who I'm talking about with the beard?
I do.
Didn't he seem like usually like he's fucking oblivious, dude? Did he seem like that to you? He didn't seem deceptive. It's like, are you fucking stupid, dude?
He came across that way to me, but I think more he was trying to hide it. He's trying to play it up for the cameras and just say,
Did you think so?
Yeah, oh yeah, we're doing, we do toys for tots, and we're doing all these fundraisers for the hospital, and we're just nice guys, and we're not out here committing crimes. We're not out here doing this, type of activity. But I think he was playing it up for the cameras and just trying to minimize.
Now, this is the guy though that I'm talking about that actually started the fight and got shot at. Okay, all right.
I know what you're talking about.
Okay,
like I said, I just think that he's trying to make it look good for the cameras, but he's just trying to minimize it for the public who is listening. I can't imagine he is that oblivious. If that is truly that oblivious, when he puts on a patch and shows up at a rally like this and then says, I can't believe
I got in a fight. I can't believe people had that many weapons. Are you fucking serious?
It'd be like this. It would be like for me to go to work, for us to go to work and think it would be a surprise for us to get in a fight,
right,
or a chase or a shooting or whatever.
Correct.
That afterwards we go, I can't believe that just happened.
Right, we expect it.
Right. Well, what the hell did you expect? You put on the uniform. You expect for that shit to happen.
Right.
If you put on a cut that says 1%
Banditos,
that you are taking or at least your club is taking part in criminal activity, and then to afterwards go, shit, I can't believe criminal activity occurred. That's ignorance.
Yes, I agree. And again, we'll tell you guys, we're fair and balanced here. I've never personally, we have a lot of Banditos in this area, and I've never had a problem with any of them ever. But I don't subject myself into their life, and I would never go to an event like that. Because I'm not stupid.
What I would say is
I don't want to. I know that those guys, that their bullets could fly, and I don't really want to be there when that happens.
Now, having like you said, a large contingent of Banditos in the area, or at least close to us, most of these guys, I would say, keep their business to themselves.
They do,
and we never have to deal with them.
Right.
Okay. I was just making sure that was your opinion as well. We just had several hundred of them over in my area. Didn't hear a peep.
No, and exactly.
And if there was a problem, you go and you find whoever's in charge, sergeant at arms, president, or whatever, and you go up, hey, we had a problem. This is what we heard. They'll take care of it themselves.
Yeah, right. For the most part, you're right. You're right. And so we don't have, but on the second token of that, I'm not going to, ride my motorcycle. Again, we'll talk about COC, but we're not going to show up at I wouldn't want to be anywhere around
the
Cossacks and the Banditos at a barbecue place. I mean, that's just if
I'm not saying that all the activity that is going on within that group, just
Right.
because we're not hearing about it, is legally and condoned activity.
Right.
Like you said, there's probably a large contingent of it that is somewhere on the fringe or illegal stuff.
Right.
But their people or they themselves are the only ones around. So who else is going to report it?
Right, exactly. And so and there's some, we're going to get to some of these sound clips and stuff. This is going to be, I hope this is a really couple good episodes for you guys, but there's other clubs there and you're going to hear some of them talk, I can't believe that I was arrested. I can't believe, I'm from the Scimitars, which is a different club that was there. Okay. I am just telling you, you are ignorant. You're an ignorant person. If you're even if you consider yourself, I'm just telling all the law-abiding bikers out there, if you consider yourself a law-abiding biker and you're with a family club or whatever, if you're at all involved with the COC, I'm just going to throw it out there. I've said it in the past. I don't support the COC. They're not any organization that you need to deal with. I know that they're heavy in some areas and you feel like you need to do what you need to do. But if you're showing up at a large COC meeting and there's Banditos and Cossacks with all the prior tensions, you have just ignorantly placed yourself in a situation where you could get shot at, where bullets could fly. I mean, we'll talk about it, but over 1,000 weapons are seized. I won't go into that situation as a law-abiding biker on off duty. I'm going to another place. I don't want to. I'm just not stupid. And if you put yourself in that situation, you got to evaluate your own problems. And I know there probably was people there that technically weren't, and they get pressure from the COC. Again, that organization has no authority, people.
We'll get into this later, but like you see people who are just sitting there having their lunch,
right?
And they're, it looks just like maybe a husband and wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever the hell it is, and they're just sitting there having dinner, and then the shooting starts, and of course they're running out. I can tell you right now, if I was sitting at a place and 100 Banditos rolled in, and then 100 Hell's Angels, Mongols,
right.
Cossacks,
Vagos,
yeah. Any of those guys rolled up, yep, later, boys.
My kids
throw
are out.
50 on the frickin' table and say, I'm gone, because you know that nothing good is going to happen there.
Even if you did that and you were a motorcyclist, what I'm getting at is there was other motorcyclists there that weren't with criminal clubs, but they put themselves right.
Right.
You freaking just, what do you expect walking into a crowd of 1%ers that there's not a possibility of mayhem?
I don't care who the hell you are, you citizen or just, a regular club who says that they're a law-abiding club. Yeah, you have basically thrown a bunch of gasoline onto the ground, and somebody's standing there with a box of matches. You're hoping that they're not going to light it on fire.
So I see some of these guys, and they talk, and they're like, I got arrested, and I didn't do anything, and whatever.
We can talk about why that was here later once we get into that.
Definitely.
Why was that? And why did you stay in jail so long? And why was your bail set?
Right.
So, yeah, absolutely. I'm interested to dive into that.
Definitely.
And, why is that?
And I say their ignorance is what got them there. Again,
and I don't think most people probably understand why in the hell was that.
Right.
A lot of people watch that video and go, well, yeah, why in the hell would they stay in jail for that long?
Right.
Well, once we start talking about it, I think it'll give people an insight as to why that is.
And we bring the Leo insight again, guys, we're not trying to be biased here. We are going to and I'll tell you guys, that's why I thank the patrons so much. This particular episode, I spent just getting it ready over 7 hours of notes, and I want to make sure we bring the right information to you guys. And the only way we can do that, putting that much time in away from my family is through patron support, to know we're getting supported to do that kind of work. That's how it works. Here is you support us financially, and we realize that's how much you guys appreciate it. So, and then all the work that's going to go into after. But so we're going to give you guys some insight as Leos, but we're going to be fair about it too. And you're right, Papa. I think we can get some information. But I'm just going to preface this by, please, guys, do what you need to do in your areas. I'm not in every area, but God, if you can steer clear of the COC. If you think they have authority, they don't. They don't have any authority. They actually probably have done some good things with legislature in the past. I'll give them that again because I'm being fair, but they've turned into an organization where they're trying to control the motorcycle scene. And we are the 99%ers. We're the law-abiding bikers. We control the motorcycle scene, not them. The 1%ers do not control it. Unfortunately, situations like this give us all a bad name, because there's a lot of citizens that just see, a three-piece patch, or they see a motorcyclist and then they think we're all scary people, and when in fact 99% of us are good law-abiding biker citizens. So hopefully that gives a little preface to it. So we're not dogging, again, I never had a problem with the Bandito. We're not dogging them, but we're not going to lie to you guys either. And we're going to tell you exactly who the Banditos are. So they like to sugarcoat it. You're going to hear the president of the Banditos acting like a child in this interview and thinking he's a funny guy. He's really juvenile. It just kind of goes to show he's their leader, and he's really he doesn't even know how to do an interview. You know what I mean? Very childish. And let's not forget who the Banditos are. Here you go.
It was called the Bandidos Massacre. Back in 2006, 8 members of the gang are killed and stuffed into these vehicles near a farm in Ontario, Canada. Each victim shot in the head, execution style. Fellow Bandidos members are charged with first-degree murder in what police describe as internal cleansing by the biker gang. Just a year before the massacre, 26 Banditos rounded up and arrested in Seattle. Charges include drug trafficking, weapons offenses, kidnapping, and extortion. One of those arrested was the national president of the Banditos at the time, George Wagers.
The government they do what they call piling it on. And they piled all these charges on everyone.
Wagers eventually took a plea deal for a guilty charge in conspiracy to engage in racketeering. He says authorities are out to get the Banditos, that any crimes committed are perpetrated by a few bad apples.
The club does not go out and appoint criminal activities. The club
just 40%.
Makes no monies off of criminal enterprise. The individual may make something out of it, but not the club itself. It's no different than if you're in Congress and you commit a crime, that doesn't mean every congressman committed a crime.
Some experts, however, say violence and criminality are baked into the DNA of the Banditos, noting they flaunt being 1%, apart from the 99% law-abiding bikers.
1% is first of all, it's a symbol that they wear on their colors, both physically and symbolically, is to be the extreme, the most dangerous, and the most absolute of the outlaw bikers.
The Bandidos Biker Gang, or Motorcycle Club as they call it, was founded here in Texas in 1966 by a disillusioned Vietnam War veteran. The group's colors, red and gold, are an homage to the colors of the Marine Corps. Today, they boast members in 26 different countries and in America. Experts say they're battling with the Hells Angels to be the biggest and baddest motorcycle gang.
The Banditos are often involved in various drug trade, guns, weapons, extortion, prostitution, stolen goods. Those are their main areas of criminality.
And a part of that battle is which gang can rack up the biggest war chest.
There you go, guys. Let's not forget, we call it as it is. Yes, they have a long history of criminal activity. Now, I will tell you, I don't know a lot of law-abiding biker clubs that have, you can look into the history of most law-abiding biker clubs, I'm sure, and you don't find history of large-scale arrest and drug smuggling and prostitution, extortion, and murder, okay? They have a history of it. The history continues. The history is not even history anymore. It's current, because as you're going to find out, multiple Banditos, high-level leaders, 3 of them have been indicted. They were actually going to get indicted before the Waco incident, and they just sped up their indictment for murder and extortion and all kinds of stuff. So this is not anything new, and certainly it is what it is. Again, we preface it by saying not every single one, but a large. And like he says, it's interesting because that's what these guys do. They know. I've said it in past episodes. They know how to stay. They try to stay out of RICO. Racketeering Influence Corrupt Organization. Okay. They try to stay out of that. And the way they know they can try to stay out of that is by making statements such as they do, just like that guy there. Well, the individual may choose to do criminal activity. See, and so they shield these presidents of these clubs because they know, racketeering influence. It's an organizational thing. So basically, what that means, guys, is if the president is conducting the club and he's orchestrating criminal activity, well, he can be charged with a lot of the same crimes, and the feds can nail him under RICO. So these clubs have got astute to it. And so they know that's why every single one of them, it's so annoying because they think people are so stupid. And for the most part, if you're not educated on that stuff, it's not that you're stupid, you just don't know about it, is they'll all say, oh, you know what? I didn't know that was going on. And oh, that's the individual member. That wasn't orchestrated by the club. And that's all to stay out of RICO is all those statements are for, because they basically are admitting, even though they think they're bright, they're admitting that criminal activity is going on in their club, but they're trying as much as they can to pin it. And that's why they have the presidents and the club leaders so detached these days, because a lot of them got wrapped up in RICO when it came out. A lot of clubs went down, a lot of members because of RICO, and you can read some of the undercover books from officers that went undercover when they did those large-scale RICO, where they're arresting 50, 60 guys. And so these guys and they get told by their attorneys, whatever you do, it's not, whatever happens in the club, it's not an organizational thing. Always say it's that particular member that chose to do that, and it just
went off the reservation.
Right. Just a wacko.
Yeah, didn't want him to do that. Did it on his own.
He can't believe he did that belonging to a 1%er club. I can't believe he got in a fight with somebody. That's ridiculous. That's not what 1% stands for. It's just annoying hearing these guys talk like that. So with that, preface, anything else to, I guess we're beyond prefacing, but we should probably let me see what I got here. Let's go down here let's talk about, so the shooting happened like we did up front, 9 dead, 18 injured. Federal authorities arrested, we're going to talk a little bit about that. Top 3 leaders of the Bandidos. I already told you a little bit about that. Now, you said 174, 177 bikers indicted or were arrested up front, right?
Right.
Okay. Now, which is interesting, out of those 177 or whatever you say, 154 actually got indicted, right?
Right. So I was saying, 174 arrests. We got 154. I mean, that's only 20 people who weren't indicted.
Right. That were there.
Right. Or, well, not about that were there,
correct,
that were arrested.
That were arrested.
Right. So, but I'm guessing that's pretty much all of them, because it sounds like from news reports and what I found is that just about every damn one that was there, whether you were hiding in the bathroom or doing active shooting, they arrested you. So It sounds like the vast majority of the people who were there were arrested.
And most of them, initially, most of them were, and they are indicted for engaging in organized criminal activity, which is a Texas statute. I don't think they were indicted under the federal statute, but just Texas. I remember saying that in episode 78, is that engaging in organized criminal activity. Again, it's similar to RICO, but on a state level, not a federal level. So Texas has that. So that's basically what they're saying is.
And that carries a huge sentence.
Up to life in prison.
Right.
Right.
For the Texas statute. Yeah, it's a big one. Definitely a big one.
And I would venture to say, and I think it's very fair, Popeye, that they're indicting him up front on that stuff, but I guarantee, based on the videos and based on the evidence, that they are looking into they're buying time, because that's a lot of cases. It's an overwhelming undertaking for the criminal justice system that it really wasn't set up to do that. And so I guarantee right now investigators will slap more charges on certain individuals, because there are individuals that are easily identified by face in those videos, popping shots into the crowd and stuff. Those people, whether they're felons in possession of a firearm or other offenses, attempted murder, reckless endangerment, brandishing weapons, whatever the crimes in Texas are, I guarantee that that's just a preliminary engaging in organized criminal activity. It's a catch-all for right now. I say that in a good way, to at least get them indicted up, and then now they can look into, okay, now how exactly were you involved? And we're going to slap murder charges on you, and we're going to slap assault charges on you, right?
Right. And without steering it in the wrong direction, like you're saying, is that, it's kind of that catch-all of, hey, we know that something major just happened here. We got 9 dead people. We got
1,000 weapons.
Yeah, we got 18 people who are, injured severely. How in the hell are we going to just hold these people, identify them, try to figure out what the hell just happened? So if you don't have anything, if you don't have any charges up front of the assault or of like you're saying, maybe a weapons violation or something like that, what can we use here? And it sounds like in Texas, they have this law that is engaging in an organized activity. So what they can do is they can go and they can arrest all these people under this organized activity, the criminal organized activity, and then they can hold them. Because if you're wearing a patch, according to Texas, and they just all came into this area that, and they just committed this massive shooting. I mean, it's,
terrorism to me.
Basically.
It's homeland terrorism.
Let's hold on to these guys. Let's figure out what the hell just happened here. And we're going to charge them under this. And like you're saying, later we can go back, we can watch a video, we can figure out who needs exactly what
attention.
Charge.
Yeah.
So all these people may be wearing this patch, which creates them being under the umbrella of the engaging in organized criminal activity.
Right.
But what ones need further attention on whatever crimes that they just committed.
Yep.
So it held them in there for long enough. I mean,
well,
these
they're
guys
all indicted. They're out on bail.
Yeah. So, right. Pretty much all of them. And so it definitely held them from being able to take off. And
right.
I mean, what if they just come to, what I was looking at is, so these cops all show up in an absolute melee of a situation, chaos. And they're trying to figure out what in the hell is going on.
Could you imagine?
Right. And then so, I mean, it's not like you can just show up and say, you, and you're coming with me. You need to talk. I mean, you've just got this absolute shit show that you're trying to deal with.
There's PC to arrest everybody at that point till you figure out otherwise. We do that at bar fights all the time. Everybody's right now that it was remotely involved. You're under arrest, detained legally.
Yeah. Nobody's going anywhere. You're all involved in a major incident. There's obviously something major that just took place. We got dead people and wounded people all over the place.
We'll dust you off later.
Yeah. None of you guys are going anywhere. So that's what they held them under. And then to come back, like I said, then to hold them. But everybody, well, I shouldn't say everybody. I've heard, some bitching about people saying, mainly the bikers. They just held us. They just held us without any reason. No, the reason is that you have dead people everywhere and wounded people everywhere.
And we don't know who those suspects are now.
And we don't know if you shot this guy or somebody else shot this guy. But if they didn't hold everybody there, you could have, Joe Schmo just taken off and head back to Florida. And you'd never see him again.
Right.
You'd never know what the hell
Screw the investigation up.
Right.
It's completely legal in the United States. If you don't like it, take off. But that's the way it works in the United States, guys.
Even with all the video that's out there. I mean, how hard is it? You hear that all the time. Well, you got video of the guy. Well, how hard is it to pick out one single person out of a video and say, that's so-and-so, when let's say we're here in Washington and the dude lives in Minnesota.
Right. That comes in time with the investigation.
Right. You got to figure out who he is.
All police need up front in the U.S. is probable cause, guys, and probable cause is 51%. Okay, it's not reasonable doubt. That's what you get convicted on is beyond a reasonable doubt. But a lot of people don't realize all police need to detain you. It happens every day when you go. I mean, just put it like, I don't know of a better example, but you run in, to a bar, and let's just say there's not that many. Let's just say there's 10 people, and there's all of a sudden a shooting and 2 people dead, and you cops go in that bar. Everybody's legally. It's been decided, guys. Been decided for years. Everybody's legally detained. Then police can start talking to people and slowing things down and trying to figure out who's going to remain in custody. That's called an investigation. And that's at that time, it's not even PC. It's basically Terry, right? Terry versus Ohio. It's legal detention at that point to detain for investigation of a crime.
Yep. You believe that a crime has been,
crime is
has
afoot.
been, afoot, has been committed, is being committed, or about to be committed.
Yep. The police will detain you and figure it out from there. It's like the stolen car. If there's 4 people in a stolen car and the police stop it, everybody gets detained until they can investigate the crime to figure out who and how everybody's involved. They're going to detain all 4 people. Absolutely 100% legal in every court of law across the United States, guys. Some things are state specific, but Terry versus Ohio is very universal.
Been around since the 60s.
Been around since the 60s, and you ain't going to change it, I don't think. Not even with our liberal courts these days. I don't think you're going to change that one. So it is absolutely what they did. Completely the way we look at it. And we'll tell you, of course, if we think something was done wrong. But we really, I think most law enforcement agencies across the United States, I don't know how other countries are, but that's exactly how they would have reacted. And I think they reacted appropriately based on the circumstances, because they don't know who's the shooter, who's the murderer, who's the victim, who's whatever. That will be decided in time and as the investigations continue. So let me see if I have this. Sorry, Papa, I'm just looking here.
Got another video clip for us?
Oh, here. Let's listen to this. Let's talk about the weapons a little bit.
The highest caliber weapon we've recovered is an AK-47. Family clubs don't carry the kind of weaponry we've seen in there this morning. During my walkthrough, family club members aren't going to go and hide firearms in bags of chips. They're not going to hide firearms in the toilets. That is not a family club. These were vicious gang members that were in our city Sunday.
I like Swanson.
Yeah.
He's a well-spoken, and it's weird because they label him as sergeant, which for a big catastrophic thing like that around here, that would be like a captain or chief giving those type of things. But here, he's a sergeant from all the articles I did back on 78 and stuff, and he is a very well-spoken individual, and I appreciate how he comes out and just says it how it is. There's no pussyfooting around it. These are criminals. They were not there. They're not a family club. If you had a law-abiding biker club shooting for whatever reason, if some psycho came into a place where there's a bunch of law-abiding bikers, first of all, they're all carrying legal, so none of them are going to ditch their firearms, okay? And they're going to take care of the psycho that's coming in, active shooter or whatever, right? You have people here, over 1,000 weapons seized, ungodly amount of weapons. These people, and I like how he says it, it's just straight up, guys, I'm sorry. You don't go into a place like that and then have a shooting and then find 1,000 weapons, guns, knives, brass knuckles, chains, hammers, tomahawk, machete. Okay, I don't carry a machete. I don't carry a tomahawk. I don't carry hammers or chains or brass knuckles or knives. I carry a gun because it's my Second Amendment right, and I'm a Leo. An AK-47, seriously, there was vehicles there, and AK-47. Okay, these people didn't show up like he says. This is one of my favorite sayings of his.
They're not here to drink beer and eat barbecue.
Straight up, dude. Straight up.
They're not here to drink beer and eat barbecue.
They absolutely aren't, right?
Love it with the Texas accent, too.
I love it, dude, because he's well-spoken. And I just reiterate that. All of the law-abiding bikers out there listening, you guys know as well as I do, even if you're on the edge, hopefully we're going to give you a lot of information, but, I mean, do you have anything to say? I mean, come on. Guns ditched in toilets and bags of potato chip, guys, between bags of flour. There were bulletproof vests found, AK-47, over 1,000 weapons. Do you think that these people at this COC who claims they're going to have clubs get along, which the Banditos control the COC there, which is the big issue. See, the Cossacks aren't COC. They aren't involved with the COC, and they don't wear a 1%er patch. Now, the Banditos, that's the problem with the COC, is the Banditos control it, and they basically want to tax. You'll hear some of that. They want to tax and make the Cossacks pay the Banditos who control the COC. That's why it's such a corrupt organization. Is it's not fair, it's not balanced. It's in that area especially. It's run by the Banditos, and so that's some of the tensions. And so you don't go to. Okay, I don't go to meetings with that kind of stuff. And if that kind of weaponry was ditched because you've got felons that aren't supposed to be carrying this stuff, and all there's all kinds of implications with this, but. Am I sending my point home that this is not these are not law-abiding biker citizens. They're not, even if they're not involved in criminal activity right at the moment, if the fact that they're carrying a tomahawk to a meeting, you got problems, man. You got issues going on. These are criminal clubs, and he said it well. That's not norm. That's not norm for law-abiding biker clubs, for law-abiding biker citizens. You don't go to eat barbecue and drink beer with knives and brass knuckles and chains and hammers and tomahawks and machetes, right?
Well, yeah, you're right. But on the other hand, I guess sitting here to listen to this, thinking about it, is the Cossacks, who claim to be a law-abiding biker group, they're all carrying a bunch of weapons too.
Yeah, I don't know if they claim to be law-abiding biker. They just don't claim to be 1%ers.
Correct. And what were they doing there?
They claim which I can't
know
remember.
they claim that they showed up to
ask
make
for
a peace. Yep, make a peace with the Banditos. Obviously, I would say that they expected something to happen. And, I guess why would, if you thought there could be tensions, why wouldn't you bring weapons?
Right. But again, you shouldn't be there. If you think there's right, I mean, they're just idiots all the way around.
Be a problem,
right?
If you think there's going to be a problem, then obviously, why would you show up?
Shouldn't
have been. If you know
there.
there's going to be a ton of Banditos showing up, and you've got to bring all these weapons, let's do it on different terms. Let's figure something else out because
Skype. Blab.
Let's
do a blab.
That's right. Let's do a blab with the Banditos.
You could have up to 4 people in a blab. You could have 2 Cossacks and 2 Banditos, bro. We're just gonna do a blab.
Yeah,
no big deal.
Solve this problem. I understand the show. I understand their side of them wanting to say they showed up. They're going to solve this problem. They're going to figure it out. But on the other hand, is that the best place? And if you're showing up with armed to the hilt
with this kind of weaponry,
sound good.
Bulletproof vests.
Yeah, and we don't even know what sides had what on those.
Right.
Because they're ditching them. Who knows if that was Banditos or Cossacks. But even if you want to give the crew who claims not to be a 1% crew the benefit of the doubt, they're still there. They're putting themselves in a bad situation. They're bringing weapons because I would think that they expected some type could be a problem. I have a hard time saying that completely, though, because I don't go anywhere without weapons.
Well, yeah, but we're Leos, dude.
Well,
we have to protect ourselves when we arrest people that recognize us in town. I mean, I think it's a different level.
Right. Well, I would hope so. But on the other hand, if I was a normal citizen, and I would pack a gun everywhere too. But
no, and I agree. But these are not normal citizens. In fact, most of them.
I'm saying on the Cossacks who want to say that they're not a 1% crew.
I think they still got convicted felons. I agree with you. I'm playing both sides. But yeah.
Right. I'm sure that they do. I'm sure
they're still obviously convicted
they're not completely
felons.
Innocent, but I don't agree with them showing up in this place and when they know that could obviously spark a confrontation. Let's do it on a little lower level, something that's not just waiting, a tinderbox waiting for a match.
Right.
Maybe just meet with a couple of you rather than bringing in 60 of them or whatever the hell they had, and then you've got 100 and something Banditos rolling in. Let's just meet with maybe your top tier people and discuss this and see if we can figure out a solution.
I agree. And so whether the Cossacks, we've got some emails over time that tell us the Cossacks are good guys, and that's great, but they're injecting themselves again. They're not using good judgment. That's poor judgment that you think you're going to go to the COC and to a bunch of Banditos and you're going to talk some sort of truce because it's pretty violent. And, some things leading up to this. And again, guys, there was a CNN special on this. We're going to cover a lot of it, but it will be in the show notes if you want to watch. It's nice. We actually couldn't find it. I watched it originally. Did I talk about this?
CNN, the special?
I watched it when it first came out, and it was back in May of 2016. And then me and Popeye, the same links that we watched on were no longer valid, and I looked everywhere for it. But today, about 2 hours before the podcast, I found it, and somebody uploaded it on Vimeo. I hope it stays there for a while because technically it's copyright infringement, whoever did it, because they didn't ask CNN.
Right.
And they yanked all the commercials, and which is great. It's about 40 minutes now without the commercials. It will be in the show notes, lawabidingbiker.com/ and whatever episode this number is. But we're going to break down the video. We're going to play some clips and hopefully give you guys some more insight into this particular shooting. And we're going to do this in 2-part episodes. Let's, what do you say? We dive in to the video here and we'll talk about this.
Violent things we're getting and what makes these bike gangs different.
These are people that are the worst of the worst, the baddest of the bad.
Former ATF agent Matthew Horace investigated outlaw motorcycle gangs for years. He says these gangs have a violent rep for a reason.
Both of them are well known and well documented, what we refer to in government as outlaw motorcycle organizations. Not every member of the organization is an outlaw, but certainly there are members in the organizations that purport and commit criminal acts.
I think we said that, huh?
Right.
The majority of America's motorcycle clubs preach camaraderie and a love of riding.
99%ers,
but in
law-abiding
some
bikers.
clubs, there's a more sinister side.
This has got nothing to do with do-gooders and philanthropists or choir boys. But on the other hand, it's not this great, huge criminal enterprise that everybody thinks.
And Pete James would know. For 16 years, he was president of the notorious Chicago Outlaws. On the street, he goes by Big Pete.
Should have called him Doughboy.
The Cossacks, I can sum that up in one sentence. Who are they? The Bandidos are way too big to even deal with the Cossacks. The Cossacks are like mosquitoes. They can't hurt you, they pester you. The Bandidos are one of the largest clubs in the world. They have chapters all over. They're a powerful club, and they're one percenters.
One percenters like the Bandidos believe the rules that apply to 99% of us don't apply to them. One percenter biker clubs are considered outlaws. These bikers hardly ever...
All right, we're going to stop there on that particular thing, but that reiterated a little bit of what we said. There's an ATF guy, that was investigating for years that even he reiterated what we said is that, there are factions within there, but not all of them. So I think that's fair, right?
Yep.
A lot of people say, oh, they're all bad, and definitely not our perspective here, guys. So, but again, guilty by association. So with that said, you know what we're going to do here?
And I don't know if it's ignorance that brings him in and thinks, that's not what's going on or what.
Right.
But, I'm going to get in here. I'm a doctor. It'll be fine.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So, but like we've been saying, is everybody in there doing these acts? Probably not. Well, they're not. But to get in there and think that it's not going on, it's got to be ignorance or just turning your head.
Like I say, I think a lot of them want to belong to that and have the what they believe. I don't believe it's clout, but a lot of people do believe it's clout because they wear the 1% patch and they think they're with a real motorcycle club, but they don't really understand what they're getting into. And let me tell you this. I'm not going to use specifics, but I investigated some of this stuff in the past in a capacity. There are, and I have talked to some ex-members of 1% clubs. And I will tell you that some of them, they do slide by the cracks. These clubs want a certain amount of their membership to be law-abiding bikers, right? Law-abiding citizens, what they believe, and still wear the patch. They're clean-cut. It gives them a good reputation. Those are the guys out. That's like having a public information officer for law enforcement, right? Those are those PIOs.
Say this guy's a doctor, or this guy's a teacher. Right. He's not doing anything bad, and they probably do bring him in.
They do it on purpose.
And I can even see the draw.
Absolutely.
Of going into one of these clubs.
We're going to be fair.
Yeah, especially you get out of the military.
Right.
Or it's just your personality that seeks excitement, that likes excitement. And these guys, they're riding fast, they're riding hard. And you know what? Yeah, I'll even give it. It looks cool going down the road and you got 50 people stacked in a group, side by side, front to rear.
Right.
And you're going
running
down
hard.
It looks cool. Mm-hmm. And it's fun. It is. I mean, we do that with our law-abiding club. And it's fun, and I get that.
Right.
But on the same time as what are you getting into? And you got to realize what you're getting into. But I understand the draw of getting into it, but you got to know what you're getting into.
Yes, and not cry when you get shot at.
Right.
Because that shit's going to happen.
Right.
If you're going to, there's a high likelihood you could be in a fight because there's people that hate you. It's called gang wars. And just, if you're going to get into a gang, then accept what the gang brings and then don't cry afterwards and start calling 911 and stuff, and crying that you didn't get the police service that you needed. Well said. Definitely interesting, when the draw comes and from military vets, like you said, which was how the Banditos was started back in the day. You know what I mean?
Because you come in, you get out of the life, you get, especially like, nowadays here we are, we've been in some of the longest wars in American history, actually the longest war in American history. Yeah, these guys come back and all of a sudden you go from 100 to 2 miles an hour. That's tough.
Correct. And no brotherhood. Right. You're used to hanging out with your brothers every day and you got each other's backs and
let's find something that's fun and exciting and go out there. Yeah, maybe criminal and whatnot, but I can understand the draw of that.
Right.
I don't agree with it, but I can understand the draw of it.
Absolutely. I think that's fair. Definitely fair, brother, on that. So with that said, guys, Man, we got a lot more to come at you, and that's just an opening. And then in part 2 of this, anyways, it'll be part 2, guys. We're going to get into a lot more detail and play some video clips as we go through the CNN special, and we'll finish it out. So hopefully you're enjoying it, and make sure you tune in.
We will see you back for part 2.
Part 2 coming up, coming at you. That's right, guys. All right, guys. So call to action. Don't forget, guys. We got the old bug slide right over in the law-abiding biker store, guys, and I absolutely can't
believe in it. It works.
It absolutely works, guys. Absolutely the number one waterless motorcycle cleaner, tried and tested by the law-abiding biker crew. That's right, guys. That's our number one go-to motorcycle cleaner. Clean, shines, degreases while removing bugs and other surface contaminants with ease, using on your motorcycle. Of course, don't forget car, boat, truck, and more. Never need to wax again, Papa. That's right. The reason is the release agent of Bug Slide contains a UV filter for added protection. Dries crystal clear, no powdery residues, all that kind of good stuff. It's free, abrasive, safe on all non-porous surfaces, guys. Yes, it even works on your Harley denim paint schemes, because I had a Harley denim and works great. We believe in it so much, we carry it in stock right now in the Law Abiding Biker store. lawabidingbiker.com/store. Big Daddy Kane, that's right, runs the lab store, has it ready to ship direct to you right now. Don't be fooled by the free shipping on Amazon, because you'll save $1, but you'll wait 15 days. We use USPS priority, have it to you in about 3, guys. That's right. Don't forget, Popeye, what is it? The Lab hotline phone number?
Area code 509-731-3548.
That's right. Or leave an internet voicemail from anywhere in the world from your computer microphone for free. lawabidingbiker.com/voicemail. And guys, don't forget to get into the free Law Abiding Biker email club. lawabidingbiker.com/email club. We'll shoot you an email when we come out with new free videos. That's right. If you can't support us financially, we get it. We understand family budgets. You can at least rate us on iTunes or Stitcher Radio, lawabidingbiker.com/iTunes or /Stitcher Radio. Review us. Give us a 5-star rating. Helps bump us up in the rankings so more bikers around the world have a better chance of finding us, and they too can join this thing we call the Biker Revolution. All right, guys, peace out. Keep the rubber side down.
And the shiny side up.
Laters. Don't forget part 2, guys. It's going to come at you hard with it. It's going to be deep.